I've got a new webcam arm here, so I can actually zoom in and out a little bit better than I did before. Alright, so in last class we did some proportion drawings, and then I showed you how to put a gray ground on here. So just to remind you, you want kind of a light gray ground, and how I did that is I took my charcoal stick and I used the side of it and I just kind of went in circles like this, from left to right, kind of like I'm reading pages in a book. And then I took a balled up piece of paper towel and then I went in circles until it was kind of ground and blended into the paper, and it's always a good idea to tape your paper down, especially when you're doing this, right, because you're moving around a lot. And then I suggest that if you have a printer at home, that you print out your portrait, because it's a lot easier to look down at what you're drawing than to continuously look up and down at the computer screen. And then I want you to draw a bust of your figure, because I really do want the head to be about this big. So we're doing a large drawing. Part of the challenge of this assignment is to do a large drawing. So just let me clue you into this for a minute, because I saw this happen in my other class. I can tell the difference between a small piece of paper and this large paper when you post your work in progress. So please don't use a sketchbook and a tiny piece of paper to do this drawing. You do have to use your large paper that I gave you, okay? And I don't want to do this whole image, because even though this is really beautiful, this wrap she has on, I really do want to focus just on her head. So I'm actually going to draw a box around her. And this box represents the edge of my paper. So this box represents this edge. And if I don't want to be confused by that, I can either fold my paper or I can actually cut it so that all I see is what I'm going to be drawing. And this is just going to be helpful to you to figure out proportions of things. Okay, so now I know that this is exactly what I'm drawing. It gives me an idea of how big I want to make it. Another thing I like to do is very, very gently, like not blocking what I need to draw, I draw a cross in the middle of this page, and then I draw a cross in the middle of this page. And that gives me a sense of where I need to place her head. So her nose is right about here. So that's pretty good. I put it in the right spot and I made it, I think, the right size. Okay, so today your steps are to put the gray ground on the paper and then try to draw the proportions of the face in general. I'll show you how far to get today, and then I'm going to let you work, and then you're going to post your WIP. WIP stands for Work in Progress, WIP. And you're going to get used to me saying that, because you're going to be posting a WIP every single class period. Your WIPs are not finished pieces. Okay, they're just where you are at that point. All right? So here we go. Drawing the proportions of the face. Remember, I gave you two examples. I see somebody's got their volume on here and I can hear them drawing. Check your mute, everybody. Okay, I don't hear it anymore. All right, so I gave you two options. You could draw the person from the front, or you could draw them from kind of the side view. So you look at your photo and decide which one it is, and then you base your proportions and your angle of your face on that. This is kind of in between. She's sort of looking a little bit to the side. So the first thing you do is draw an egg shape. The bottom, the pointy part of the egg, is a chin, okay? And then ignore this crisscrossy thing. In fact, you could go in and kind of blend it in, because we're going to do some new proportion lines. So you want to first draw a line down the middle of the face. Now, because her face is turned a little bit, my line is going to be a little bit to the right and it's going to curve. Okay, and the second thing you do is draw a line down the middle of the face going horizontally like that. Okay, this might seem unnatural and look weird when you're looking at this, but this line represents where her eyes go. Okay, and typically there are 5 eye widths across the whole face. So what I like to do is I start in the middle and then I do 5 eyes. 1, 2, 3. And then this one is going to be hidden a bit because her head's turned, and this one's going to be a little bit off right there because the head's turned. So why do I need to draw 5 eyes? Well, that helps me figure out where the real eyes go. Because in between the eyes, the width of an eye is the same distance as in between the eyes. So this is where her eyes are going to go. So I'm going to just kind of draw in a pupil here and a pupil here. No details yet, just general. Okay. Next step is to divide the face from the middle to the chin into thirds. So here's 1/3. And here's 2/3. 1, 2, 3 parts. Okay, this line represents her nose, and this line represents her mouth. Now again, these are general placements. We haven't really started making it look like her yet. Okay, this would be any face right now. Not even the shape of her face is right. Okay, then the next thing I like to do is figure out where her hairline would go in her eyebrows, right? So her eyebrows are right about here. And then there's another one right about here. And then the distance from her eyebrows to her hairline is pretty substantial. So I like to try to find equivalent measurements. So if I've already got like the eyebrow width to the nose, then I can use that to find the measurement of the eyebrow to the forehead. Okay, so right about there. So this is kind of where her hairline goes. This is why we put the eyes in the middle of the head, because we need room for eyebrows, we need room for forehead, and we also need room for hair. And then sometimes there's even more volume of hair up here, depending on the hairstyle of your person. She's got her hair pulled pretty tightly against her head here, so this is probably the top of her skull right there, maybe with a little volume up here. So then I just kind of draw the hair a little bit like it's a cap at the moment. Again, just very general. We're not going to see too much of the hair on this side here. And then here's a trick about ears. Your ears, actually, depending on the angle of the person you're looking at, your ears, here, I'm going to switch to my view here. I want everybody to try this. I want you to put your finger under your nose and above your eyebrow, and then carry it back to your ear. Your ears are a lot bigger than you think they are. They're actually from the top of your eyebrow to the bottom of your nose. That's how tall your ear is. And that's how you figure out the placement of your ear. So